All right, here's a feature of Impact Hide and Show Fields. What this does is, based on a drop-down list, we can then set the fields visible or non-visible depending on what's required. So if this is a VA loan, just using an example here, maybe these fields are required. As you can see, the other fields are hidden. They're not required for this type. And if we go to USDA, again, using the drop-down list, it is changing what is visible to the end users. So let's continue and show you how to set this up. This video shows the feature how to show or hide fields on a data entry screen. Okay, let's just delve into that for a second. Let's open up, we have a mortgage table here. Now inside of this mortgage table, we have the name of the mortgage, the type, we can add in we never entered in the property tax per year. Maybe that's $12,000 and it recalculated. But I want to start recording whether I received documents or not, depending on the loan type. And again, I want to show or hide fields over here. So follow me here. So let's go into the designer. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Here's our loan type. Now, if we go and we look at the fields here, we have our loan type field. I'm going to edit this field. And I want to make this a drop-down field. So I'm going to change it to a drop-down. Now, if you don't have your drop-down defined in here, we can create a new one, and we'll call it loan type. Call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it loan type. And in my loan type, I have a couple of types, USDA, add, we'll say FHA loan type, and then we'll say VA loan type. So just enter the types in. These will be the types. Now, if you do mortgages, you probably already said I'm doing it wrong, but that's okay. This is just an example how to show and hide fields. So now we have our loan type field, and we're going to use our drop-down loan type. I'll say finish that. I'll close, and let's go and run this. Close, save changes, go and run our report. And as you can see, we now have a drop-down. FHA, USDA, the three or whatever, the drop-down list that you created. So here's the question. If I do an FHA loan or a type A or type B, I want to record information over here. But if I go to do a VA loan, I want to record a different set of information. And I don't want that first set of information to be visible. You might get the idea in a minute. So let's go into the designer here and look at what we have. We have these fields. Oh, here's a couple FA fields, right? So I have the FA cert, again, FA this, FA statement of work. For a VA loan or some other type of loan, I might need their, the tax return. I may need a copy of the pay stub. I may need the credit report. Again, this is just information that we need to capture based on it. And again, if I close this down and I change this to an FHA loan, well, I don't want the VA information visible. I want to hide it depending on the condition of this drop down. And here's how we do that. All right, let's go into our containers and let's add a tab. All right. So here I just added a tab to the field. I don't have to worry about anything right now. I'm just going to say, okay. And I have a tab. Wouldn't it be nice if each one of these tabs then said VA or FHA? What I could do is I can then tie these two controls together, which is actually rather cool. So I have a tab control on here. Let me go back to this loan type and go to properties. And one of the things you're going to see here because of this, one, because we have a drop down on the loan type field, and also we have a tab controller here. We have this area down here. It says change the tab page based on the drop down. So I'm going to go here. You may have multiple tabs on the screen. So I'm going to select this one tab. Yes, it's a generic name. But that tab, it's the only tab on here. That's my tab controller. So I'm going to say use that tab to change the names. Now, how does that tab know how to change the names based on it? Well, what we're going to do right here is go into the properties of that tab. Here is the tab. Again, we didn't do anything before on it earlier. It just says tab page 1 into page 2. But since we've set it up this way, we have a new button, add from pick list. So if I click on that and it says, do you want to add 3 tabs from the pick list loan type? Remember, loan type is this drop down. And in that drop down, you see it has FHA, USDA, and VA. I'm going to say yes, let's add them. They added the tabs for us based on the drop down. Now, these other tabs I don't need. I'm going to just remove those tabs. I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to say okay again. Now I have my tabs based on the loan. So let's click on the FHA, or sorry, the VA, and I'm going to take these fields into that tab page, and then say if it's just an FHA loan, I'm going to take these fields in there. Again, these fields could be anything, and again, forgive me for the people that do real estate closings. I know this isn't all proper, but I wanted to get a scenario that you would generally understand. Okay, so now I have this new tab control in here. So let's see how this works. I'll say yes. So you see the VA is selected. If I say I want an FHA loan, you see the way it automatically changes the tab, the selected tab, based on what you have in your dropdown. Okay, now that we have the ability to change the tab, USA, USDA, VA, what we may want to do is hide that actual information. There's no reason to have the users on an FHA loan to be able to go over and look at the VA information or the USDA information. So we're going to do one more thing. We're going to hide the tab headers here. So let's go back into the designer. Select our loan type and again, go to properties. This is where we selected the tab to control. I am going to say hide the tabs. Just put that option on. I will say okay to that. Now we're in the designer, so it's not hiding the tabs in the designer because of course you may need to get in here and do work. But what it's going to do is it's going to hide the tabs when we're looking at the layout. And there's our layout. So we're on an FHA loan, and again, we don't see the VA fields. And if we were to walk on to USAD, USDA, let's find it, VA one. There's a VA. So as you can see, it's showing us the VA information, or it's showing us the FHA information, again, based on the tab control. In summary, this is a very nice way for you to set your data entry patterns to enforce that the users are entering in the right information in the fields and not filling in fields that aren't required for these conditions. Okay, thank you for watching.